Every firm values customer service because the customer, especially an angry one, directly affects revenue. Appropriately handling an adverse situation could result in promotion or pay raise, which is good, but the lack of poise in a hostile scenario can cause a demotion, a decrease in pay, or even an early termination. Because we understand how serious this issue is to you, your family, and your company, we're here to teach you the best method for effectively conducting a scene that was once critical. Whether you work for a politician or work in a grocery store, customer service is the most important skill in representing the firm you work for. Because of your interaction with them, the customer may promote the company, improving the overall reputation of the business, or the customer may bring repeat sales and become loyal to your brand. Remember, nothing bad will come from doing your very best for the customer and your company, but no good will come from neglecting the interests of your customer. Let's take a look at this interaction between an employee and a disgruntled customer.
Absolutely terrible. Even I can talk better than that.
That's horrible.
That was horrible.
It's absolutely horrible.
Terrible.
Are you kidding, or?
No, I'm not.
Oh, you're serious?
That I wouldn't even feature my dog. Terrible.
Everyone at the table doesn't like any of their food. What should I do? Do I comp everything, or?
Here I am now in this pinnacle moment, and I start hearing the complaints. It was almost too bad to be true.
You need to get feedback from me, okay?
Why didn't you like it? She said the steak was too tough, which doesn't look tough to me.
After Gordon sees nothing is wrong with the food, he decides it's time to stick up for his young chefs.
What are you trying to say, sweetheart?
It's terrible. Worst food I've ever eaten.
Really? Why don't you just take a seat and just sit down and try to enjoy a cup of coffee?
How can you enjoy something that when you come, my husband is starving, and
Right.
we sent
Okay.
him back.
Okay.
My steak was tough.
Okay, good. But madam, unfortunately, you're talking out your rear.
Oh, yeah?
And-
Damn right.
and-
Don't watch your mouth, sir.
Oh, really?
I don't care
But you're just walking
who
around
you
looking for
think
trouble.
You are.
Why don't you just sit down and stop trying to cause trouble?
Oh, come on.
There we go.
Will you?
Ladies, welcome. Good evening.
Hi, how are you?
So sorry about the old bag.
Please take a moment to pick which answer you think is correct. The correct answer is letter C. Continue listening in order to understand why listening fully and apologizing is the best solution.
So Gordon Ramsay did not handle the situation well. The customer felt that her needs were not met because the quality of the food was so poor. Her anger only increased when Gordon Ramsay not only failed to validate her problem, but aggravated the situation by disagreeing with the customer. As you can imagine, she felt like he wasn't listening. Gordon's solution for her was to sit down and drink some coffee. Her response was negative, and that she and her family would never return to the restaurant again. A customer will rightly feel exasperated or heated when their needs are not met by the individuals hired to cater to them, or when their problems don't seem to concern anyone. It's stressful when your problem is not being solved because of incompetence or because of indifference, and when you're speaking the same language, but you're just not getting through. The worst is the runaround, or when you're shifted among employees like it's some kind of game. Unfortunately, this is how our customers feel during most adverse situations, because employees are just not equipped with a natural skill set, and were never trained to handle confused customers on a Monday morning.
The most imperative skill to obtain is the most obvious, yet the most overlooked. You must be able to listen. As much as we try, most of us have a hard time interpreting both what someone is saying and how they are saying it. Usually, one of these factors trump the other. However, when listening to an irritated customer, it's critical to determine what the source of the problem is and how the client is expressing their agitation. It's important to note that when a customer comes to you with a problem, it's usually just a symptom of a more complex issue. Otherwise, the client would have identified and solved it before coming to you. When taking the time to listen, keep in mind that you are communicating with the customer by whether they perceive you to be listening or not. Your body language is key. An open posture insinuates that you are competent and prepared to do what they need to be done. Do not cross your arms or hang them loosely by your side. By folding your arms, the customer may see you as an opponent rather than a friend. You want to eradicate any sign that you are closed off from them. Instead, talk with your hands to ensure a natural, personal way to really communicate with emotion. Remember that the emotion and the tone in your voice should be calm and positive.
Customers want the employee to confirm there is a problem that needs solving. Simply saying things like, "I understand what you are going through," or "I will do everything in my power to help solve the problem." This goes a long way in calming down the situation. Ask the customer questions about their adverse experience. This will make the customer feel like you are listening to them. Gordon Ramsay could have asked the woman questions about why her experience at the restaurant was awful, but instead he just told her to sit down. Also, questions like, "How could we have avoided this problem for you?" gives the customer the chance to vent his or her frustrations and may help the company better itself in the eyes of its clients. This also helps the employee gather a clearer picture as to what the issue is. The customer wants to feel that their feelings are valid and justifiable.
Once you've allowed the customer to vent, provide a sincere and personalized apology, meaning you want to make sure your demeanor is calm and your tone is empathetic, while restating the customer's issue to make sure you have a good understanding of what they are bringing to your attention. This often diffuses the client's anger. You do not have to admit any wrongdoing, but provide a simple, "I'm sorry you experienced this issue," or "I'm sorry for any inconveniences." By stating, "I can understand how frustrating that must be," helps the customer feel comforted. While apologizing, keep in mind the tone of your voice. You want to sound positive and not scripted, but at the same time, keep your voice steady. A negative sounding voice or a lot of voice fluctuation gives the impression of uncertainty. It also implies that you do not feel as if the problem is important. This can make the customer become angrier and feel as if they are not valued. The customer must feel you are genuine and acknowledge there is a problem and you will do all that you can to aid in the resolution. Let's review this next clip and figure out if the employee handled the irate customer properly and if there is anything he could have done better.
In the art world, there's just millions of fakes, so you have to be really careful. The patina looks right. What doesn't look right is there's some pitting right here. And that crack right there is from when they casted it. It didn't happen later. If it's an original, the casting will all be right.
Well, to be honest, I don't know how to respond.
I believe this was recast probably like 40, 50 years ago, long after Bacall died.
Why would they do that?
That's just this is what I'm seeing. Right here, you have Collection Française. You see this?
Yeah.
It says Made in USA below it. This was not made in 1888. The original was made in 1888.
I don't believe you.
Okay, I mean, I just don't see 1800s here. It's an American foundry in the 1950s.
What you've seen and what you can prove is two different stories.
I see this all the time. People will bring in things like this, and I tell them it's not real, and they just think I'm a asshole. They think, that guy can't appraise art, but I can. It's not as old as this date says it is.
I don't care what you say. I don't care what you tell me, but I know you're full of
You know, it's all right, Antoine. I got it. That's just what I see.
We might be wrong. We don't know. We're in the business to make money. But when we don't feel comfortable with something, we're going to back off. We really appreciate you bringing it in, but it's not for us. That's all I can tell you.
Please take a moment to pick which answer you think is correct. The correct answer is letter B. The employee should have empathized and apologized to the angry customer as an attempt to diffuse the anger and frustration that the customer was experiencing.
We hope that this video has taught you how to deal with angry customers in an easy and efficient manner. As an employee, you must fully listen and empathize with the customer so that they feel like their concerns are valid. Apologizing to the customer will diffuse the customer's anger because they will feel like you are putting a genuine effort into their problem. Just remember to listen and empathize with the customer and to fully apologize. Thank you for taking the time to watch our video, and we hope that this instructional video will be a great opportunity for you with your customer relations issue.